Hey there everyone, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. This is my review of Arsenal's 3-1 victory over Preston North End this evening. A really torrid affair at times. Arsenal coming out with what was a last gasp victory courtesy of Olivier Giroud and a second half goal as well from Aaron Ramsey. But that really is not telling of how this game went. That first half was nothing short of, dare I say, abysmal. It was really subpar from Arsenal. Similarly to the game against Bournemouth the other day, it was really poor. And going into this game, I think it's just a case of, Giroud even said it himself, he didn't expect that type of commitment from Preston North End in this game. It's ridiculous that we go into games like this with such complacency, such arrogance, assuming that teams are going to roll over us simply because we're Arsenal. It is an awful mindset to have. It was a very strong team that we played today, a side that wouldn't look out of place playing in the Premier League if it wasn't for the addition of Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the team, who I thought had a very mixed game. I thought he struggled in that first half. I don't think he was helped out particularly by Mustafi and Gabriel. They certainly weren't giving him any assistance at times in that second half. I think he came into his own that little bit more. We got to see a bit more of him going down the flank when we had a bit more of the ball, a bit more time in possession, a bit more time to think about what we were going to do with the ball. But all round, that team I think was a very strong one. And it is really worrying to see how poorly we do play at times when we don't have the likes of Mesut Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, even Laurent Koscielny in the team. We seem to lose our heads. We don't really have any leaders on the pitch. It was telling that Olivier Giroud was the captain today, not someone that you would have down as your first choice as captain in an Arsenal shirt. Saying that he did get a goal at the end of the game, playing like a leader, you could argue. I mean, he did seem rather ruthless at times throughout the course of this match, having a shoulder barge with one of Preston's players. But apart from that, not the most inspiring game from Olivier Giroud, but at the end of the day, he's a striker, he's paid to score goals, was in the right place at the right time, and is proving why he's going to be such a big player for us throughout the course of this season. So many late goals he scored for us now. Got an absolutely untold amount of time for Olivier Giroud, quality player that we've got in the team. But all round, I mean, it wasn't just Olivier Giroud, it was a bit stagnant in this game, it was the whole team. That first half just simply didn't wake up. Preston, miles the better team. They were incredibly fluid, incredibly exciting, had some very pacey players. McGeady was absolutely sensational in setting up their first goal. We conceded very early in that second half. Sloppy defending, it was poor from Monreal, again getting caught out, and you have to wonder, how much longer is he going to remain in the Arsenal team, especially when Kieran Gibbs comes back to full fitness? I think Monreal's tenure is coming to a close. Gabriel and Mustafi in the middle, they seem to lose their heads. And it was a very simple finish for the Preston man. I can't quite remember his name, but it was a very good goal by the 21-year-olds to put it into the back of net to make it 1-0 to Preston. A goal that they thoroughly deserved in the game. That midfield pivot that I think a lot of Arsenal fans have been crying out for. Xhaka and Ramsey fully tested in this game and really didn't live up to the expectation I think so many people have put on their shoulders. I think in that second half when we dominated possession, that's when we saw the best of them. Ramsey especially I thought was a lot better in that second half. But that first half, I mean, we've got a real issue in that midfield pivot if you ask me, because when we play with Coquelin and Xhaka, it's far too deep. If we play with Xhaka and Ramsey, it's far too attacking and we don't really have any cover, someone to dig the ball out. That type of Coquelin and N'Golo Kante type of player, that Victor Wanyama to win the ball back for us. So it's worrying that we don't, for a team that has a plethora of options in midfield, we look so unbelievably disjointed, and that's a real cause for concern in my opinion. That front four playing just in front of Xhaka and Ramsey was practically ineffective. Iwobi really struggled in that first half. Lucas Perez didn't get into the game that much. Oxlade-Chamberlain didn't get into the game. Giroud didn't get into the game, and it begs the question as to why are we playing with inverted wingers when we've got a 6'4" target man up top. It simply doesn't make sense. Well, in a way it makes sense. If we were to have Cazorla or Jack Wilshere playing in this game, someone that can bring the ball forward and interlink with inverted wingers, then it would work to our favour, but we simply didn't have that. And it just makes sense to play to these players' strengths. Chamberlain works a lot better on that right-hand side. He's right-footed. Perez works best on the left-hand side. He's left-footed. Giroud is a target man. Put balls into the middle. It's a very route one system, but it's going to get you goals. We've seen that before in the past. That game against Manchester United at Old Trafford a couple of months ago is a perfect example of route one football. And at times in games like this, when we have to dig ourselves out of trouble, it does work. And it was infuriating that we didn't play to our strengths in this game, and we divered with the ball, and we kind of ruled out that whole first half where we had we could have had a good chance to take the game to Preston, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that, and we wasted 45 minutes of football. But going out into that second half, a completely different Arsenal team. We dominated the ball, got that early goal through Aaron Ramsey. Fantastic work by Alex Iwobi first and foremost to hold the ball up, play it into Aaron Ramsey, who scored, quite frankly, what was a beautiful goal, and it's a goal that he's been crying out for, his first goal since the North London derby back in March. Really pleased for Aaron Ramsey. I can only hope that his performances go up from here, because we really do need him to be playing at his best, whilst he is just one of what seems to be two fit midfielders at Arsenal at the moment. So all the best to Aaron Ramsey. He looked a lot better when he got that goal. He needs that injection of confidence. The same goes for Granit Xhaka, really. Those two, I'm hoping we see the best out of them in the coming weeks, and I do want to see them form this partnership that has been so anticipated by many, including myself. I do want to see it work, and now only when everyone is injured we are going to see those two hopefully thrive in the midfield for Arsenal. We didn't have too many chances apart from that. The real one of note coming in the dying stage of the game. Wonderful ball over the top. Lucas Perez controlling it and then backheeling it to Olivier Giroud, who tucked it past the keeper to make it 2-1 to Arsenal. Wonderful celebration by Olivier Giroud. Great way to cap off the game. But it should have been a lot more comfortable for us. We shouldn't have had to wait until the 89th minute to secure this game. We should have had it wrapped up in that first half. We did, as I say, waste 45 minutes of football essentially. And it's still a rather concerning performance from Arsenal if we are going to start games in that manner. I say that, it is only the fourth time I believe we've gone into half-time losing the game. So in a way it is testament to how well this team has played games in the early stages. But if you look at the way we played against Bournemouth, if you look at the way we played today, there is definite cause for concern. We are scoring goals, but we're also shipping them in as well. And it is really worrying how reliant we are upon certain players. Cazorla, I mean, ever since he's gone, this team just looks disjointed, as I say. Koscielny, our defence looks... it seems to lose its head, really. And I was really surprised not to see Rob Holding start today. Just touching on that note, I thought we would see Rob Holding start alongside either Gabriel or Mustafi. And the one quality that Rob Holding has that Gabriel and Mustafi both lack is he's got such a calm head. He looks so calm on the ball. He plays it out really well. And with, as I say, Gabriel and Mustafi, they are chaos defenders in a way. They are really quite irrational at times, really quick to judge. Whereas Rob Holding, everything seems to slow down around him when he's on the ball. He's a fantastic player to have, and I'm disappointed that he only got a chance with about 4 or 5 minutes left of this game. So I'm hoping that he starts the next round, whoever we've got. We also saw Danny Welbeck come into the game. I thought he looked very, very fresh, had an excellent effort on goal, which was tipped over the bar by the Preston keeper. He looks very good, and I'm looking forward to seeing him get a few more minutes in an Arsenal shirt. But all round, a 2-1 win away from home. Not the performance I think a lot of us wanted, but thankfully we've come away with a much-needed win, and our next game is away from home against Swansea, who lost 2-0 away in the Cup today against Hull. So that should be an interesting game, one that we've got to win if we are going to remain in the mix for the title, which we have to at this point. We've got, I believe, 3 very winnable games coming up against Burnley, Watford and Swansea, as I say. So time to get points on the board, time to start keeping clean sheets. I mean, we have, let's just put things into perspective. We are getting these results, forget Bournemouth for a minute, we are getting today's result with the likes of Theo Walcott, out the side, and Mesut Ozil out the side, Laurent Koscielny, Alexis Sanchez out the side. So, I mean, it's good that we've got such valuable squad players that we can go to games like Preston away and still field what is a very experienced starting 11. So it's great to see us delving into the squad a little bit more, especially at a time when it is needed. But we have to be playing better football, and we have to get this horrible mindset away from ourselves that we're simply going to go into games and we're going to play the Arsenal way, because teams aren't going to allow us to do that, and we can't expect teams to roll over for us. I say we've got to get rid of that mentality, but it's just been installed in these players' minds for years now. It's hard to see that drift away from them, unless we're playing a top side like Bayern Munich, Manchester United, etc. You know, these players do seem to have that horrible, arrogant mindset at times, especially going into games such as today's. But I'm not going to ramble on for too long. Please get your thoughts on the game in the comments box below. Please do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Game by Game if you're new to the channel, and I will speak to you very, very soon.